So the film begins with a pregnant girl who was talking to her husband on the phone. Now, because the director hasn't given this girl a name throughout the movie, we will just call her the girl. This girl was especially worried because there had been a flood in their city for the past several days, and London streets were stuck in a massive traffic jam. And the girl's husband was also in that traffic jam. Her husband assures her, "Be patient. I'll be there soon." The girl believes him and is just about to hang up the phone when she starts having intense labor pains. She sees that water was now starting to enter her house from under the door, and suddenly, breaking through the window, water rushes into her house like a flowing river. She herself starts to drown in the water. In pain, she was trying to escape the water, and in the middle of all this effort, she fainted. When she regained consciousness, she found herself in the hospital. Finally, she had become the mother of a son. Just in time, her husband had come and saved her from the flood and had also brought her to the hospital. They were still happy looking at their son when the doctors came and told them that they would have to name their son, get his birth certificate made, and leave soon because there were too many patients and too few beds due to the flood. The girl wanted to go home, but her husband tells her that their house is completely submerged in the flood, and now they will have to go to his village. On the way to the village, they see long lines of cars. Everyone wanted to go to a safe place. That's why there was also a heavy security police presence here. They were only letting people who lived in the village go towards the village. The girl's husband pleads, "Let us go. I grew up in the village, and my mom and dad live there too." At first, the officers don't believe him, but when he tells them that he has a small, newborn baby, the officers believe him and let him pass. Finally, they had now arrived at their village. The man's mom and dad welcome them warmly and are very happy to see the baby. They tell them that they can stay here comfortably for several weeks because they had stored several weeks' worth of food and water. The girl's husband sees that a nearby house is empty, and they decide to make it their home. Life goes on well for a few days, but then one day, their food starts to run out. Meanwhile, everyone gets the news that the government had set up shelters near the sea and had also arranged for food there. They decide to go there, but they get news that reaching there is extremely dangerous. The city from which the girl and the man came, London, was still submerged in water, and there was also a risk of a tsunami. Now they decide that they will take the risk and go get food, or else they will die of hunger. Because the girl had just given birth to a small baby a few days ago, the other 3 people go to get food, leaving her behind. And before leaving, the man promises his wife and son that he will return soon, for both of them. Hours pass, and when they don't return, the girl's anxiety increases greatly. The baby was crying continuously from hunger. The girl had no way to quiet the baby. Suddenly, there's a knock on the door, and she gets scared. Hesitantly, she opened the door to find a man and a child who were on the verge of dying from hunger. The girl can't bear to see their condition, and she gives them her last remaining meal. Because she was hoping that her husband would bring food anyway. The 2 strangers eat and leave, and a little while later, the girl hears a car stop outside her house, from which her husband was now getting out. Drenched in blood, the girl got scared. The girl held her husband and asked many questions, but the man remained silent without answering any of them. Looking inside the car, she saw that the man's dad was badly injured, and the man's mom was no longer alive. The girl sat down right there. The man told her that among all the people who had come in search of food, such a stampede started that his mom was crushed to death in the crowd. He says that he tried to save his mom, but he couldn't do anything in that crowd. His dad was completely shattered. He couldn't bear this grief and took his own life a short while later. This incident had completely broken the man. The girl tries to encourage him and his father and advises him that it's no longer possible for them to stay here. It's better for them to go to the shelters set up by the government. The man was so emotionally weak that he couldn't make a decision. He tells his wife, "You take our son and go. I won't leave my mom and dad's house." But the girl was not ready to leave her husband either. They spend a few more days in this house until the last of the food the girl had brought is finished. Eventually, they go to the shelter homes. But even there, men were not allowed. The girl and her son were taken in, but the man was turned away. The girl still refused to live without her husband, and they both decided that they would live together in their car and get food from the shelter. But after spending just one night in the car, they came to their senses. It was very cold in the car, and it was impossible to live in it. The next day, when they started getting in the food lines, the lines were so long that the boy couldn't get any food at all. His wife found food for him with great difficulty by standing in lines. Seeing the conditions here, the boy broke down even more. He decides to leave from here and tells his wife, "Take good care of my son in the end." This girl had to agree because she was a mother. After her husband left, this shelter began to feel suffocating to her. Even amongst so many people, she felt alone. And that's when she met Na, who also had a 5-month-old son. Na was an expert at raising children, and she would also help this girl quiet her son. Na tells her that this shelter is much better than all of the other shelters she has stayed in before. In other shelters, there are thefts. People murder each other for food, but nothing like that happens here. However, there are fights for food, but not much else happens. Still, life was not safe here either. Na tells her that she has a very rich friend who owns a private island. If we somehow manage to get there, I think our lives will be set. Will you accompany me there? But the girl hesitates a little, because her husband was not with her, and he was waiting for them somewhere outside. She didn't even know where he was waiting. This girl couldn't stop thinking about her husband. Before they could make any decision, one night their shelters are attacked. People with guns and pistols enter their shelters and start killing people mercilessly. They loot all the food from here, and complete chaos breaks out. In such chaos, Na and that woman pick up their children and run away from here to save them. After walking for a long distance, they finally got a ride, but the person who gave them the lift was very rude and left them halfway. The girl was now scared that if her husband returned to the shelter, how would he be able to find her? But Na was telling her to stay strong. She was saying that if you have already taken the step, now you have to keep walking on it firmly. She tells her, "Look, staying alive is the most important thing. Everything else comes later while walking." They reach a house where there was a man. He looks at them with empty eyes and, surprisingly, offers them both food in a world where food had become very scarce. This feeling was as if both of us girls had gotten a new life. The three of them sit together by the fire, talk, and tell their stories. That boy's story was the saddest of all. During the flood, when the bridge broke, his entire family was killed. Only he survived. When they woke up in the morning, they saw that the boy had already left. But he had left a note for them in which he said that if they go north, they will find many boats there that will take them to their destination. For both of them, this was such great news, as if they were getting a new life. They go to the shore on that side and wait all day, but no boat comes. Just when their hope was about to break, they saw a boat coming from a distance. Seeing this boat coming towards them, they both just went crazy. They happily get into that boat. Finally, Na was heading towards her friend's island. When they got there, they were lucky that Na's friend did not betray them but welcomed them very warmly. Finally, this was the first time in a long while that they had eaten their fill. Today, after a long time, these people were sleeping peacefully. But despite that, there was a certain emptiness inside the woman. She was missing her husband. She now felt as if everything was over. Her family was taken from her, and she would never be able to meet her husband again. Many days, many months passed. Her son grew a little older, but she couldn't get herself out of her thoughts. The old lady here, Na's friend's mom, could feel her sadness. One day she came and sat next to her. She explained to her, "Look, daughter, if you remain trapped in your past, how will you be able to build your present and future life? Look, you have a son. You have to keep going for him too. You have to be brave." This girl listens to what she says, but remains silent, giving her no reply. After thinking for a long time, when she came back, a strange courage was visible in her. She had made a firm decision. And she announced her decision to everyone that she would go back to her home. Everyone considers her decision madness and tries to stop her. But now she had made up her mind. Na even started crying. She couldn't even think of living without her. But this girl hugs Na and says, "Understand that just as you can't live without me, I can't live without him." Now that she had made her decision, her friend's mom supports her and puts her on a boat. The journey was not as easy as it seemed. First, she took a long journey by boat, and that boat left her in the jungle. She had to cross this jungle alone with a small child. Her food ran out, and to stave off hunger, she was forced to eat even leaves. She even had to hunt wild animals to stay alive. Enduring everything, when she reached the edge of the forest, she had to kill the good person inside her. She stole a couple's car and fled. And finally, she reached London. Her city, her home, was now completely ruined and lifeless. There was water everywhere. She came to her house. Her house was completely destroyed. But now she had decided to start a new life right from here. Because she hoped that her husband would surely come looking for her here one day. After a short while, she hears the sound of movement. She sees that her luck and her hard work had paid off. Her husband had also arrived here looking for her. The two of them had finally met at the same place. It was this girl's courage that they were reunited. Otherwise, if she hadn't been brave, they might have never met. Now, they were about to start a new life from here, where people's lives had ended. And the movie ends here, showing just the two of them together.